Something is coming in Bridgerton Season 5 that fans are not ready for. One of the Bridgerton brothers is not going to make it to the end of the season. This is not a small rumor. This is something that changes the entire story for every family member left behind. If you have watched this family grow, fall in love, fight, and heal together for 4 seasons, this next part is going to hit you hard. Stay with me because by the end of this video you will understand exactly what happens after he dies, how the family falls apart, and how they slowly try to put the pieces back together to understand why this death hits so hard. We need to look at where the Bridgerton family stands right now. Every season so far has focused on love. Who will marry who? Who will fall for who? But Season 5 is different. This season is not just about romance anymore. It is about loss and about what happens when a family that has always been strong suddenly has a piece missing. By this point in the story, most of the Bridgerton siblings have found their partners. The family feels complete. Violet Bridgerton has spent years worrying about her children, guiding them, pushing them toward happiness. The siblings have grown closer than ever, leaning on each other through scandal, heartbreak, and gossip from Lady Whistledown. The family home feels full of life. This is important because the writers are not going to take this death lightly. They are building up a feeling of comfort and safety just so they can break it. The character at the center of this theory is one of the brothers who has always carried a heavier emotional weight than the others. He has struggled quietly while helping everyone around him. He has put his own pain aside so many times to support his siblings during their own love stories. Fans have noticed this pattern for years. He gives so much to everyone else, but rarely gets the same attention in return. This is exactly why losing him would hurt so much. He is not just a side character. He is the emotional glue that holds smaller moments of the family together. There are also small hints building up across the earlier seasons. Moments where he talks about feeling tired or feeling like his role in the family is to fix things rather than live his own life. Moments where he jokes about not being remembered the way his siblings are. At the time, these felt like simple character moments. Looking back, they feel like warning signs. Season 5 also introduces new pressure on the family from outside forces. A rival family, financial trouble, and a secret from the past all start closing in at the same time. This creates the perfect setup for something to go wrong. The show has always used personal drama to build tension, but this season pushes that tension further than before. The family is stretched thin. Everyone is distracted by their own problems, and no one notices that one brother is quietly struggling the most. By the middle of the season, the pressure becomes too much. Something is going to happen to him, and no one in the family will be ready for it. It happens on a night that looks completely normal. No storm, no big warning, no dramatic music building in the background. That is what makes it so hard to watch. Life is just moving along the way it always does, and then in one quiet moment, everything changes forever. He is not in the middle of some grand adventure when it happens. He is doing something small and simple, something the family barely notices at first. Maybe he is riding alone at night after helping settle one of the family's problems. Maybe he collapses quietly in his own room after weeks of hiding how tired and unwell he has been feeling. The show does not need a big battle or a duel to make this moment powerful. Real loss often comes from small, quiet things. And that is what makes this version of his death feel so true to life. The first person to find him is someone close to him. Someone who never expected to be the one carrying this kind of pain. There is no time for last words filled with wisdom. No slow goodbye scene where everyone gathers around in perfect peace. Instead, there is panic, shouting through the halls, servants running, someone sending for a doctor who arrives just a little too late to change anything. Word spreads through the house before anyone can properly explain what happened. One sibling hears it from a servant instead of from family, which only adds to the shock and confusion. There is no clean, gentle way this news reaches everyone. It hits like a wave that no one can stop. Violet Bridgerton, who has spent her whole life protecting her children, is now facing the one kind of pain she cannot fix. A mother is not supposed to bury her child. That single truth sits heavy over the entire house. The siblings do not react the same way. One goes completely silent, unable to speak or cry, simply staring at nothing. Another breaks down immediately, refusing to believe what they are hearing, insisting there has been some kind of mistake. Someone else turns cold and quiet, walking away from everyone, needing to be alone with the pain too big to share yet. This is the moment the entire season shifts. The love stories, the gossip, the parties, none of that matters anymore. For the first time, Bridgerton is not a story about who falls in love. It becomes a story about how a family survives losing someone they thought they still had years left with. Asterisk grief is only half of this story. The other half is what his death sets in motion, things nobody in the family saw coming. Because in Bridgerton, nothing stays personal for long. Everything private eventually becomes public, and everything emotional eventually becomes political. The first thing that changes is money and position. He held responsibilities that quietly kept the family stable. Papers he managed, debts he was handling, promises he made to people outside the family that nobody else knew about. With him gone, those responsibilities land on someone who was never prepared for them. Suddenly, a sibling who spent seasons focused on romance and reputation is forced to sit at a desk full of numbers and decisions that affect the entire family's future. This is where the show stops being just a love story and becomes a story about survival. Then comes the secret. Almost every Bridgerton season has one, and this time it surfaces at the worst possible moment. A letter is found among his belongings, something he never sent, maybe addressed to someone outside the family, maybe revealing a connection nobody expected. It is not scandalous for the sake of drama. It reveals a side of him the family never fully saw, a private pain or private love he carried alone. This discovery forces the siblings to face a hard truth. They thought they knew him completely, but there was a part of his life he kept hidden, maybe to protect them, maybe to protect himself, outside the family. The rival family that had been circling earlier in the season sees this as their opening. A weakened Bridgerton household means opportunity. They begin making moves socially and financially, testing how far they can push now that the family's strongest quiet protector is gone. This adds pressure at the worst possible time, forcing the siblings to defend their family name while still barely able to function through grief. And then there is Lady Whistledown. She does not stay silent for long. Her words about the death and about the secret that follows it spread through society fast, forcing the family to grieve in public instead of privately. Every whisper at every party becomes a reminder that their pain is now entertainment for everyone else. By the end of this stretch of episodes, the Bridgerton family is not just mourning a brother. They are fighting to protect what he left behind, adjusting to responsibilities they never wanted, and preparing for a season 6 that will look nothing like the family we started with. Asterisk by the final episodes of the season, something shifts in the Bridgerton house. The sharp pain of the first few weeks slowly turns into something softer, something the family can actually live with. This does not mean they forget him. It means they finally learn how to carry him instead of being crushed by his absence. Violet is the one who leads this change, even though she was the one hit hardest. In a quiet scene, she gathers her children together, not to plan a party or discuss marriage prospects like she always used to, but simply to talk about him. She tells stories from when he was young, moments the younger siblings never even knew about. For the first time since his death, the family laughs together instead of just crying together. That single moment tells viewers that healing is beginning. Even if it is slow and uneven, the sibling who took over his responsibilities finally starts to feel steady instead of overwhelmed. What began as a burden turns into a quiet source of pride. They realize they are not just filling his role, they are honoring it, doing the work he used to do so the rest of the family never has to worry the way he once did in silence. This becomes one of the most emotional threads of the season, because it shows growth born directly out of loss. The secret from the letter is finally addressed, not with scandal or punishment, but with understanding. The family chooses to protect his memory instead of exposing it to society, showing that loyalty to him did not end with his death. This decision brings the siblings closer together, united by a shared choice to guard the parts of him that were never meant for public gossip. As for the rival family and the pressure from outside, the Bridgertons respond not with revenge, but with strength. They show society that losing one member did not break them. If anything, it made them harder to shake. This quiet resilience becomes their answer to everyone who expected them to fall apart. The season closes with the family standing together at his memorial, not in black clothing filled with despair, but in a mix of mourning and warmth. The kind of goodbye that respects both the sadness and the love that came before it. It is a message to viewers that this show is not just about romance anymore. It is about family, loss, and what people choose to become after tragedy touches their lives.